Okay, last call. Final opportunity. Right, any comments from council, questions?
Nope.
Okay. Okay. This will appear on the council agenda. So the next meeting can't start till 7, but I will make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Now call to order the City Council meeting of September 23rd, 2024. The time is 7 p.m. Opening prayer, Mr. Steve Cope.
Thanks for the opportunity. Please bow your head. God of all creation, justice and mercy, we thank you on behalf of all who are gathered here today. We thank you for your many and abundant blessings and the freedom to embrace you or the freedom to reject you. Thank you for loving us through your boundless grace. This evening I pray for each person here who is intent on doing good work. I pray for the mayor, the city staff, this city council and their families. Give them a spirit of service. Remind them that they are stewards of your authority. Guide them to be the leaders your people need, to represent all members of the community fairly, to have the courage to do what is right and good for all citizens, putting the interests of others above their own and acting out of love for the common good. Help them to use our resources wisely and well with the reverence your creation deserves. Bless their efforts with insight, guided by understanding and wisdom, especially wisdom to govern amid the conflicting interests and issues of this time. Lord, may you give them thick skins and the grace and charity to respect the dignity of those who disagree with them. I pray for the agenda set before them today. Give an assurance of what would please you and what would benefit those who live and work in our city. And finally, Lord, renew them with the strength of your presence and joy, helping to build a worthy community. Grant them personal peace in their lives and joy in their task. I pray that you will be glorified tonight through the decisions of the City Council. Confident in your goodness and love, I ask this in Jesus' name. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Liam, would you please call the roll?
Member Wyatt?
Here.
Member Owens?
Here.
Member McLeister?
Here.
Member Stroya?
Here.
Member Warren?
Here.
Member Matheny?
Here.
Member Orr? Member Orr is absent. 6 present.
Motion to excuse member Orr.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Unknown caller.
Can I have a motion and a second to approve as presented minutes from September 9th, 2024, Committee of the Whole, and the special City Council meetings?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And this will be the agenda-only portion of Public Speaks. Liam, if you'd read the preamble, please.
At this time, members of the public who have signed up to address City Council will be called to do so. Each speaker will be given 5 minutes. Speakers shall be called in the order they signed up. During this section, comments shall be limited to legislative items appearing on this meeting's agenda. The rules for speaking and the speaker's time will appear on the screen. After you have finished speaking, please remain at the podium to answer questions from officials at the dais. This will serve as the final warning for all speakers. Any violation of the rules will result in ejection from the premises.
Okay, thank you, Liam. All right, first up, we're going to have the North Canton City Schools representatives.
Good evening.
Hello.
Hi there.
Jeff Wendorf, Superintendent, Tim Walker, our Treasurer. Appreciate you having us tonight to answer any questions we submitted to administration, the mayor last week, and another one recently this morning. A couple of options. As you know, our bond issue passed, and we're planning on building on what we call the 7th Street site, just south of Hoover High School. And talking about access a little bit, trying to make sure that we cooperate with the city and working with residents about access to the middle school and traffic on 7th Street. So what we've looked at and presented to the council and to the city to consider is 2 options. First option is to use a current right-of-way parcel that the city has with the school district. We currently have a storm sewer easement onto the bend. The first bend is going north on Dogwood, and the second option would be to use the current parking lot of Dogwood Pool for staging off of Dogwood and off of 7th for pickup and drop off at the middle school. Currently, we have about 12 off-street staging spots at our current middle school, so the rest is on the street. This would afford, I believe, 68 to 75, depending on the size of the vehicle and so on, staging through the parking lot or that other drive. Of course, the use of Dogwood Pool parking lot is from Labor Day to Memorial Day. Obviously, it's not in use at that time, except for some small items that we see throughout the winter and so on. And but it would also give an offer to the city to use the middle school parking lot. Then it would be across a north-south lane for use of swimming pool overflow, right, without having to cross 7th Street. So those are a couple points that factor in. Of course, the district is trying to use taxpayer money and OFCC money as the best we can. The best option financially is the parking lot, the current pool parking lot, and you know, any development of a roadway and so on. There are some pros and cons to that, and so we'll be happy to entertain any questions that the council might have.
So you said options, which is not the update that I got this morning. I thought the update was that the Chapel Hill thing and the behind Dogwood pool was off the table. Is that still something you're considering?
Chapel Hill is not, we're not talking
Okay.
about Chapel Hill. We're talking about access to the 7th Street
Yeah.
Dogwood site, the middle school site directly.
Okay.
So one would be the easement or a
Mhm.
purchase of property
Right.
or a gift of property or a trade of property for the easement parcel on the
Mhm.
north side of Dogwood Pool. That would be the most expensive for the district and for our taxpayer money. The other would be to an agreement to use Dogwood parking lot. That's what came just recently to.
Yeah.
So we just like to answer. Neither one of them are in concrete. We're still trying to work out numbers and so on, still in the planning phase of the property and the building. But we heard from residents about 7th Street traffic. Currently, if we're able to do this, we can keep we believe no staging on 7th Street, so no cars waiting to turn. And the district has left property on the south side of 7th Street to widen for a turn lane,
Okay.
at least from our property, from Park to Wise.
Yeah.
And then, should it be necessary, we're waiting on a traffic study to be finished up. It's near completion, I believe, and let the engineers work through that.
Okay.
How many cars currently queue up at the middle school now?
10 to 12, we think, on our property. I mean, they're.
Right, but I mean,
Yeah.
if you were to
So-
estimate.
total,
Yeah,
yeah.
if you've not been by, it seems like a lot. The middle school's different than the primary and intermediate. They are more of a flow, a drop through. We drop from 7:05 to 7:30 in the morning. So some of those that come very early stage immediately. But after school, some parents show up to pick up students 45 minutes before school's out for some reason.
Right.
And
Yeah.
we don't have an exact count because 90% of it is on the street. But we think around 100 cars. But again, the middle school's out and then they're gone in 8 minutes. We know that. And we know that the number of cars that we can stage on campus or off-street staging is minimal compared to what's there. So, but we believe we can have up to 74
would be the pool park.
off of Dogwood even. On our property.
Do you feel like this is we've seen a number of reiterations or iterations, and would you say this is a temporary, is this something for the best bang for your buck at the moment, or do you feel like it's gonna have to be reconfigured again, or time will tell?
I guess time will tell.
Yeah.
We, again, think that the least expensive now is to do it in the parking lot off of Dogwood and through the parking lot, snake through the parking lot as the diagram shows.
Yeah,
We've talked in the past about, our plan is to obviously pave the gravel parking lot on the south side of 7th Street. We did discuss the possibility of a pedestrian tunnel, but that's not gonna fit in this budget.
Probably not.
It's very, very expensive. That's the
Yeah.
most expensive
Yeah.
piece that we've had. And the removal of all the dirt from our 10th Street entrance to Hoover High School to come over that hill and so on, to remove that dirt. And what we found recently is the gas pipeline through there is gonna be cost prohibitive as well.
okay. What's the yellow line?
That's just the bus line on the.
Okay.
So there'll be a bus, the buses will mainly come off of 7th Street, and the current plan would be that on the east side of the high school would be a bus drop, kind of where the loop is now around door 1.
Buses only.
That would be a buses only loop.
Okay.
Buses only in and out for pickup and drop off, and parents only on the west side then through whatever.
Okay. I like the collaboration. Are you on a time frame? Like, do you need to know next week or just?
We would need to know fairly soon on the property or the easement piece. But as I said, the recent development, the most recent piece that you've had is probably preferable to us.
Yeah.
Through the parking lot, it's least expensive, and then we can, maybe if that's not working at some point in the
Right.
future, we can adjust with the easement, or we bite the bullet later on and go over the hill.
Right.
But we don't want to push all of our traffic to 10th Street either.
Yeah.
That, including the high school and the middle school, that's a lot of kids, a lot of parents, a lot of staff.
Right.
Do you see any issues on that time frame before Labor Day? Confusing
With the
parents?
busing?
Yeah.
No, because if we start school, typically the pool's not open during the school
I was
day.
thinking more the
And we're
afternoon.
out, yeah, we're out by 2:30, and I believe once school starts, the pool's not open except for weekends.
Due to limited staff.
Correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so no issues there. Okay.
I want to say, just to clarify, because with what Councilwoman Lyric said, as far as that you still have options, I read the message today when it said you wanted to share another idea. I thought this was a totally different idea and that we weren't still considering the other, but you still are considering the easement or the
Yeah, and that's
property.
one of the reasons we want to cut, these plans are all, we're still working with architects, we're in the planning stage, we're still looking through, I mean, the parking lots shift from this part of the building to this part of the building and all that, we're very early on in the process.
Yeah.
And yet, at the same time, some of these things are going to be coming pretty quickly, and so we wanted to get it before council to get your feedback and see if there are things that would be favorable to you.
We do appreciate the parking access for the pool, at the middle school parking lot. I think that's a compromise.
Right. And
Yeah, that
as
could
we-
give, how many spots are in that lot? The parent lot?
The parent lot, 74. Oh, the parent lot, oh no, there'd be 120, 130
So it'll be
to overflow for the pool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dock crossing.
That's this one.
That'd be
that's
great,
east of
yeah.
the Dogwood parking lot,
Yes.
120. I mean, I like that idea that when schools in, schools out, and schools in, schools out, and that sharing. So when we're talking about plans, just shoring up some of those details, if we were to do that, then
They use it anyways?
in the winter with snow removal, would that be the school, would that be us? And those are the kind of things we have to talk through.
Yeah, we can work.
Yeah, and if we go with the other, we talked again before about the fence, how far would it be moved, if trees were coming out, how many, things like that, to have more concrete plans for you guys.
If we were to use the north entrance as the architects have drawn it right now, you're talking about potentially about 10% of inside the fence when the fence would move. So about 12,000 square feet or so that the fence line would cut off, and it would be about 3 trees out of that back corner. So that's, those are ballpark numbers, again, but that would be the diagram there. And that's using the lots that are separate from the pool lot.
Right.
That's not using the pool lot. There's 2 outside pool lots that are separate from the pool lot that are there.
So my concern with that is it kind of leaves that small parcel on, which would be the north side access right away. It's pretty much useless for any other than school activity.
Yeah, both parcels would probably, the new drive would go through both of those parcels, would go through that small triangle parcel. And, yeah.
Right.
And that's where currently the path comes down, the trail path comes down over the hill and so forth, kind of through those parcels.
I was talking about the access on the north side of the pool. And taking down the trees, there's a small, that parcel extends behind the house.
Yes, there's a gas line that runs through that.
Yeah.
There's an easement for a gas line that runs through that, where that part of the bigger part of that parcel, as it goes up behind that house. I believe that's where the gas line runs right through it, which is part of the reason that we don't want to cut through that hill, because of the movement of the gas line. So,
And a lot of dirt.
Do you know how much it would cost
We don't have
to
it.
move the gas line, or is that even feasible?
You're at the mercy of the utility
Everything's
company at that
feasible.
point, so
Yeah.
it's feasible, but yeah.
Well, I thought I'd ask the elephant in the room
Yeah,
that question,
Yeah,
okay?
we don't have a price on that, and we asked our contractors, Canton Construction, they said, the beauty of the gas company is you don't know until it's done, and then they send you a bill. But
Okay.
it could be in the hundreds of thousands of dollars.
You have more experience than I do, Jeff. Okay.
Any other questions, comments? Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We're not far away, if you have any questions, just pick up the. Thank you.
Thank you, Tim.
Thank you. Okay, so next we have Terry Meyer, sorry.
I'm Terry Mayer. I live at 930 Dogwood. My neighbors here live right next to the pool. That's why we're here. Recently, they removed the four-way stop sign on 10th Street, and now it takes me about 10 minutes to get through the stop sign. And now they're proposing to put a road right by their house that comes out in the middle of Dogwood, which will pour all that traffic out either to 7th or to 10th. And they're talking 68 cars. I don't even think you would get 68 cars along that street once they pour it out there and have to wait at the stop signs. So you could see, I'm not in favor of putting that access in there. I just don't know where all these cars are gonna end up going. I didn't know until just when I walked in here about the other option with the parking lot. That would probably maybe help so that it doesn't, all end up on Dogwood. But, I mean, there's no way you can pour all that traffic out on Dogwood and leave it a two-way stop at 10th Street. And I don't know who came up with the idea to take down those stop signs. But I would like to see the study that was done when they decided to do that. Because it's really not been a good thing over there. So I just wanted to let my feelings be known about how the traffic is around the school now and how much worse it's going to get with the new season. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions, comments for Terry? Okay. Sue Meadows.
My name is Susan Meadows, 232 6th Street, Northeast, North Canton. I'm here to discuss, first of all, I'd like to ask, why aren't the students on the school buses that are being provided for them? So that we don't have all that traffic over there? And when the middle school goes in, I live on 6th Street. Right now, it sounds like a freeway coming up my street. And part of them are high school kids screeching around on Park, down to 5th Street, screeching up my street to get cut over to 7th because they don't want to sit at the traffic light down on Cleveland Avenue. That's part of the problem. Other problem is the pool. That's the jewel of this town. Plenty of people go there to recuperate from different surgeries. We have one lady from the Y that doesn't have any legs, 3 beautiful children, and she comes there to the pool. I have challenged all of you to come to the pool and see what a great place it was. I didn't see anybody. I am totally against taking the parking lot and the swimming pool for more space for those teenagers to park their cars when they could be riding on a school bus. The taxpayers like me pay for it. I really am very, very angry about it, as you can tell. That pool means a lot to a lot of people. People take their vacation pay money and buy a ticket to go to the pool for the season. People come from Worcester, from Akron, from all around here to come to our pool because it's a beautiful thing. As for the liner, where is it? I go over there and all I see is walls painted white. Where's the liner? What is it? And that's all you can see, black lines and white walls. So they take it out and hide it for the winter? Question?
Yeah, can I answer your
Yeah.
question? Because I shared this with you last year when you talked about the liner. It would be physically impossible to take that liner
It's
out.
a permanent liner.
Would you drive by and see that white liner with the black lines? When there's water in it, it's the exact same liner. So you're seeing the liner that's there. So
fine.
it can't be taken out.
It doesn't, it's a permanent liner.
It doesn't get removed.
It just has holes at times that we've been able to fix, and we did use a warranty last year, so the liner is okay right now, but it's there. And then you have mentioned numerous times that you didn't see us. We all believe in the pool, we've been to the pool, we've had site visits at the pool, we've met with the Y there, we've met with other people, we get numbers on how many people go. We believe in the pool.
I'm a member of the pool.
I'm a member of the
So
pool
you
as
don't
well,
have
and they're
to,
at the family
you've
all the
mentioned it a
time.
number of times, so I just want to be clear about that. Yes.
I still don't see you there.
Look, but Sue, we all work. We're not there when you're there. It's okay. It's okay. You know that we believe in it, but you just have to, we're there.
But on top of that, I live on 6th Street. I do not like all those cars going up to the school, racing up through there. If they had to ride a school, if they were not getting more parking, they'd have to ride the school bus. So you don't really need more parking, they need to ride the bus. And when they put the middle school up there, God help us, we are going to be inundated. You can't even get on it in my street for the traffic there in the morning and rushing up to the school.
Perhaps we can ensure that our police officers are out there patrolling that area or taking a look at this.
When we are finished with the stealth staff,
Mhm.
where it's placed at now, we will place the stealth staff on 6th Street.
Okay.
Get statistics.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Okay.
I would appreciate that.
Yep. And as far as the kids riding the buses, that is nothing that we at the
I
city
know you
can
can't
control.
control
That'd be
that.
something to ask the school board, so.
Well, you can't.
I don't think they need to be
Mandate that.
furnished.
But I know you
You
can't,
can't
no,
mandate.
you
You
can't.
unfortunately, Sue, live in a community where parents do buy their kids' cars. And if you go to the Glen Oak parking lot, if you go to the Perry parking lot, the Jackson parking lot, it takes up a huge amount of space.
Yes, I know.
And honestly, North Canton doesn't have the
This is
space.
parents, mommies.
But we can't control that.
I know you
Yeah.
can't control that, but you don't have to give them more parking. If they don't have more parking, oh my. When I went to school, you rode the bus.
I mean, it's
But it
their
is different.
it's their
It is
property.
different.
They're able to make a parking lot on their property if they so choose, and it passes our zoning laws.
I'm just telling you, my neighborhood is against it, and they're against the new school, totally. What got voted for was the people that live above North Canton that aren't gonna put up with all this traffic. And then what do we get? We get a stop sign taken away so they have a free fly run down the road. Why do we have to stop and they don't? And I've been over there and almost got hit because I forgot that it wasn't a four-way.
Mhm. Okay.
Okay, that's all I have to say.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Thank you, Sue.
Okay. Moving on to new business. Liam, would you please read the title of item 7A?
A discussion of requests from North Canton City School District for usage of a portion of the city's property at Dogwood Pool.
Okay. Catherine, do you want to lead this discussion?
This is what we've been talking about, right?
Yes.
Recap or?
I mean, obviously, we want what's best, and I talked to Tim Walker, this morning, and I had said that, it's as imperative to them as it is to us that we do have a good site circulation plan. I mean, there's a lot of students that are coming there to Sue's point. I mean, we can't make kids ride buses today. I see that too. I see a
No,
giant
but you don't
bus
have
go
to give
by.
more parking.
It's their property.
Well, what would we do? You see a giant bus go by, it's got 4 kids on it. I mean, yes, it's a lot today. So, I think we have a lot of questions still, right? Asking these questions. It doesn't seem like we have a plan yet. We have proposals, options. I'm sorry, like I said, I had read that to say, here's another, this is another option. I didn't really read it to be like in addition to. I thought it was in replace of. So it sounds like that's still on the table there. I agree that, like I said, when the school's in, the pool's out, when the pool's in, the school's out, and we could have a nice relationship with that. I do like that they said, rather than our overflow of pool being across the street, and you have it in summer months when that pool is packed, moms and kids and flip-flops and floaties crossing 7th Street, they would just be on the same side of the road. So I like that. And it seems like this is a temporary solution, in the beginning, to come and snake through that lot and go around it. I asked about the snow removal there. We would want to talk about that. I mean, obviously, they would be using our lot for 9 months of the year. We would be using theirs for 3 months of the year. And it'd be a lot of wear and tear on our parking lot. So I heard him say today a little bit more about what square footage. He said 12,000 square foot of space on the other portion, 10%, and the removal of a few trees. Questions I have on that is that pool we still have the liner. We still have a couple years left on that warranty on the liner. So it's still gonna remain a pool for a couple more seasons, especially until we get through a parks master plan and then determine if we're going to go out to the community and say, this is how much it's going to cost to keep this pool functioning. And we don't know if the community is gonna support it or not. So if that were to happen and we choose that option and grant an easement through there and they remove those trees, we would need an answer to the shade as well, because I think it would be irresponsible to have that much open space. If you look at the Google map in that area, those trees are big and old and have very large canopies. And a lot of people sit very far back along that fence there to have that shade. So if those were removed, we would probably have to discuss or negotiate some sort of shade structure. So it sounds like we have these two options here. I think that the one that's coming through and going through the parking lot, all we could do, and I hear what you're saying, that the traffic's bad now, and you're worried about that, but I mean, all we could do is see. It sounds like a staging of 74, that's what they said. Now tonight it was 64 to 75. Is that correct? And what they said right now is only 12 at the current?
Yes.
So it sounds like it's a lot more. And that is what they're doing at the primary school. Last year, we had a little bit more stacked down on the portage, and then once they got that lot done, they're now looping through at the primary school in Charlotte, and that seems to be working better. So.
So I wanted to throw in there that I am not in favor of giving any property away at this current time. 10 years down the road, if plans change, pools maybe get moved elsewhere, I don't know. But I love the pool. Sue, I go to the pool with my family frequently. In fact, we sit in the back, as you're discussing, under the trees back there along the fence,
Nice
because it is shaded back there. So I'm not in favor of, at this point, giving that property away. I love the idea of some sort of a collaboration. Yes, it might be more wear and tear on the asphalt, but I love it. As I look at here, we've got gates down in the front, so it can be closed off. Then maybe if we could even get them to add another gate where the two properties separate, so that when you don't need that parking lot during the day, maybe it's too many moving pieces, but maybe another gate could be put in there when the other gates are opened up. So it goes back to being separate properties, or maybe you don't if you are thinking this for overflow. And then as far as the whole overflow thought, that's fantastic. People are not going across 7th Street, which is not always crazy, but sometimes you can get a little bit busy out there, and this would be fantastic. I mean, I view this proposal that we were given here this evening as being the best of the two possibilities. In fact, I think we heard from the residents, it's further away from their homes, so maybe it allows a little more cars to stack on there. I think all in all, this is the best possible scenario for people keeping the pool open, which we certainly hope to do, well, hope we can. The partnership between the two entities with the parking and hopefully better for the residents. So that's just my 2 cents.
Can I ask a question?
I don't think we're able to right now, so.
And also, that was their preferred solution
Yeah.
as well. So I think that makes sense. You can't just not do anything and let the cars pile up. That's not an option. But that makes sense.
Can I ask one other question of Catherine? And again, I'm totally putting you on the spot, so I apologize. That stop sign at Dogwood and 10th Street. So I remember Patrick, your predecessor, discussing that it was an illegal stop sign. And after a traffic study, it was determined that it had to come out. However, as this increased traffic down the road, when are we slating for the school to be completed? What year?
It's fall of '27.
Fall of 27. So we're a couple years out. I would assume that's going to change things and might necessitate a stop sign back at that location.
Correct.
Okay. I mean, I don't know, I'm not a traffic engineer,
Right.
but just a thought.
Definitely discuss that with Rob,
Okay.
and then discuss it with the school.
What would be the possibility or the way to do that? Would we have to do a traffic study to get that reversed? Like, would there actually have to be traffic, or could it be anticipated traffic?
I mean, I think they do that with new development, right? And that's
Yeah.
what we're
Yeah.
doing with Wendy's and, Chick-fil-A, and we did it with Myers. So
The
seems
only
like
issue
it,
is the
right?
traffic
Yeah.
won't be there until the school is built.
Right.
But I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Anticipated traffic.
Right.
So,
that would be wise.
Yep.
as long as it's on Rob's radar.
Right. Yep. Okay. Any other comments, questions? Okay.
I
Oh,
just
yep,
want to
go
say
ahead.
I agree that the queuing through the parking lot is a good plan. And I just, as this topic came up last week, I've looked into all of the pool information again and the assessments that we had done in 2023 and had, quite a report prepared to share with all of you today about just kind of the timeline of what has happened with the pool. There was going to be a pool house, then there wasn't. Now the pool's, maybe not viable. And so what I would like to do, and I'll reach out to Liam about this, is call a Parks Committee meeting at some point to just kind of go through all of that, because I don't think this is the last we're gonna hear of the pool being attractive to other entities. So I think we need to just all have the facts about whether our pool is viable or not, whether, what it would cost to keep it operational, and just kind of what those options are.
That'd be good.
Yep.
Sure. Thank you.
I just have a question about the timeline. So I know that they said kind of sooner than later.
They're starting construction. What they've said is when the last shot put is thrown on that track in spring of '25, they start digging, they break
Okay.
ground. So that's when they start construction. They'll go through '25 and through '26. They need to be in fall of '27. So as far as the timeline, I think somebody asked them tonight here, and they
I
just
did.
said as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Because obviously everything hinges on this.
Right. And I think when they came through with the first option on Dogwood, and I think a lot of us had, questions and concerns regarding the public, and did it make sense? And in our own non-engineering traffic study sort of way, we had a lot of questions. And also what that did to the value of that pool property and that other little triangle that we saw.
Which is ours, yeah.
Yes, which is ours as well. So I think we had a lot of hesitation for that, and a lot of hey, we have a levy on the ballot that has a lot of implications for what we may do as a city. We also have a city plan that's coming up that needs to be on our timeline. And I can appreciate the school's timeline and their change of thought and understanding, but we as a city, and that is who we represent, have to be on our timeline as well and kind of prioritize what's in the best interest of our city and our residents. And so I just want to make sure we really are paying attention to that. And because like you said, what are the options? Well, honestly, we don't have to let them queue up in our property. That isn't something that's just a guarantee. I love the collaboration, but that was something when they chose to build on that property that they knew they had to think about different ways to park and different ways they're getting parents in and out. So when they did that, they put that on as a bond issue, they didn't say, and we're gonna go through people's neighborhoods, and we're gonna do this. It seemed like they had a plan, in place, and so I think I like that collaboration, but I wanna make sure that we are still representing who we were elected to represent, and make sure it's a win for all of us. So, for example, if we have to plow that should not be our responsibility. I would expect that we would have them pay for that parking. If at the end of that year, our residents are not going into a pot-filled, hole-filled, water-logged parking lot. If we need to have something done, that bill goes to the schools. And I guess vice versa, if we have, people that are walking too hard with their sandals, we could pave some of their property. But it needs to be a win for both of us.
I agree, I hear you, and I've got to say too, initially, and you heard him say tonight, the cost of the tunnel was just too costly.
Crazy.
That initially was where they were going.
Yeah.
They were talking about bringing the traffic in off of, Taft, and then they were going to utilize a roadway back there along the trail. This is all their property. They were going to come into the parking lot, stadium parking lot, which you heard him say they were planning to pave, and then not having a bunch of children crossing 7th, they were going to do a tunnel under 7th, similar to what Jackson has and Lake has and Walsh has, but like he said, the dollars weren't there, so they went to Plan B and not Plan C.
Yeah.
But I agree, this is the least invasive, I guess, you
Yeah.
could say, if
Yeah.
you were having a surgery, or something, you'd go like this route before you go to something major. If we find that doesn't work, then they're gonna probably have to look at it different.
And it saves taxpayer dollars on both sides, so I like that as well.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Any more comments? Okay, so there's nothing we need to do right now, so we'll move on to 7B. Liam, would you please read the title of ordinance 57-2024?
An ordinance finalizing the annexation of 2 parcels owned by the City of North Canton located on Whipple Avenue Northwest, Wise Avenue Northwest, and West Maple Street by establishing the zoning of the parcels as General Business B and establishing the City Council voting wards as Ward 1 and Ward 4.
All right, Liam, if you'd pull up the map on this.
Yep, it is up there on the screen.
Go. So, the county just needs to know how we're gonna zone this and break it apart in those 2 wards. So, that is the proposal right there, to do General Business B. Liam, if you want to explain General Business B, why we're doing that, as opposed to anything else.
So General Business B is the closest to the previous zoning that most of the property was zoned for when it was part of Jackson Township. So in doing the annexation proceedings, when we were working with Jackson Township to figure out the best zoning for this property, they said it was already pretty closely aligned to GBB, so they agreed to that. And it seems to be the best proposition for all of the parcels, just for the development agreement that we had with Jackson Township. And then also, as a part of this, it initially said 14 parcels, so along with this, these will be, as a part of the annexation procedure, combined into 2 large parcels. So if you look on the map, the upper portion is divided out into a bunch of smaller pieces. That will all be absorbed into one big piece. So the point of doing a GBB zoning for this is to hopefully attract a larger anchor to this area to kind of cement that and bring good value to both the city and the Jackson Township. And same with this other portion. Those will be combined into their own separate parcel, and I believe that's cross-development now.
Mhm.
So they're working on something over there.
Mhm.
Okay. Thank you, Liam. Any comments, questions on this?
I think it makes sense.
Yeah, it does. I will make a motion to adopt the first reading of ordinance 57-2024.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to old business. Liam, would you please read the title of ordinance 69-2024?
Ordinance authorizing and directing the directive administration of the City of North Canton to file a petition for annexation of territory owned wholly by the City of North Canton, Stark County, Ohio, and adjacent to the City of North Canton as permitted by Ohio Revised Code Section 709.16.
Okay, this is the Dover Capital property. We had our first reading on this. Nothing has changed since then. Any questions, comments on this? I will move that we adopt the first reading of ordinance 69-2024.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Point of order, it's the third reading.
Oh, third, I'm sorry. Yep.
Hmm.
Okay.
Do we need to vote again?
Yeah, go ahead
I'll
and vote
make a
again.
motion to adopt the third reading of ordinance 69-2024. Thank you.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Liam, would you please read the title of ordinance 70-2024?
An ordinance amending various sections of Chapter 1739, Violations and Abatement of the Codified Ordinances of the City of North Canton, to extend the minimum time allowed for property owners to remedy hazardous trees from 2 days to 30 days, and to remove fees for submitting corrective action plans.
Okay, this is ordinance and rules. John is not here.
I think it's pretty clear stated in what's in the title.
It is.
And we've already gone through this. I think it's a good idea to give them more time to have the trees removed and not charging for an action plan, just getting trees removed for safety aspects.
Yep.
Makes sense.
Just to clarify along with Member Matheny's point, so this will be removing the fees for everything, not just for trees. Just as a part of the city's efforts to be a little bit more collaborative with property owners, not being very punitive. So taking those fees out just encourages people to get things corrected without having to pay an additional fee.
Excellent.
I'll make a motion to adopt the third reading of 70-2024.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Liam, would you please read the title of resolution 74-2024?
A resolution approving the collective bargaining agreement between the City of North Canton and the North Canton Professional Firefighter and Paramedic Association as negotiated by the Department of Administration.
All right, personnel and safety, David.
Again, thank you to administration, the hard work that goes into negotiating. I like the idea that we're adding the lieutenants to make sure that we have 3 fully staffed EMS vehicles, and putting that together, I like the fact that they even volunteered to give up their pay raise the first year in order to help support that. That's true collaboration in getting this work done. That's pretty much the highlights. Administration like to add anything else?
Just that they have signed it. Great.
Perfect.
And they're appreciative also of the collaboration.
Any other questions? I'll make a motion to adopt the third reading of Resolution 74, 2024.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Liam, would you please read the title of ordinance 75-2024?
An ordinance establishing Chapter 136, Dispatch Center of the Codified Ordinances of the City of North Canton, thereby establishing the North Canton Dispatch Center as an independent city department and to provide improved emergency dispatching services.
All right, David.
Okay, we have discussed this in the past. I think my stance has been made clear. I'm not sure that it's overall the best move. I don't know that it's creating any payroll savings. We are adding more part-time people. It is moving dispatch under administration. I think that is a great thing for oversight and supervision so that our police and fire can concentrate on what's most important, and that's public safety, and that the dispatch center can continue to operate. Any other comments? Questions?
I'll move we adopt the second reading of
That's
ordinance.
third reading.
Jeez, sorry, my bad. It's third reading of ordinance 75-2024.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed?
Motion carries 5-1. Liam, would you please read the title of ordinance 80-2024?
An ordinance establishing Chapter 163, Contracts and Purchasing of the Codified Ordinances of the City of North Canton, thereby establishing provisions for contracting and purchasing procedures in the City of North Canton.
All right, David again.
All right. So this is the second reading. This is adjusting the bid amounts, items over $75,000. It's also changing the structure of number of bids we need to get, and also the consideration given to contractors in North Canton and those in Stark County. So 10% or up to 10% consideration for North Canton, up to 5% for Stark County. Anything else to add?
No, it's just, we're doing, our civic duty to look and see all the options available out there. We've had many meetings with our department heads, and, they were a little shook at first, what does this mean? I can't just use who I've used. You absolutely can. We're just asking, get a couple more, and let's have a comparison. And if there's a specialty, maybe this is real unique, and that's why you only use that, let us know that. We're not trying to tell them how to do their job, but we are trying to be the best utilization of taxpayer funds.
It's good funds over here. Then I'll make a motion to adopt the second reading of ordinance 80, 2024.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Liam, if you'd read the preamble again.
At this time, members of the public who have signed up to address council will be called to do so. Each speaker will be given 5 minutes. Speakers shall be called in the order they signed up. During this section, comments shall be limited to items reasonably under the city's authority. The rules for speaking and the speaker's time will appear on the screens. After you have finished speaking, please remain at the podium to answer questions from officials of the dais. This will serve as the final warning for all speakers. Any violation of the rules will result in ejection from the premises.
Okay, so this is open topic for under the city's authority, and Joseph Malqueen.
Joseph Malqueen, 1016 Park Avenue, Northeast, North Canton, Ohio, 44720, Cleveland zip code. Good evening, my fellow North Cantonians, to the fine folks who might be listening in the state of Ohio, the United States of America, and wherever in the world you are. I have faith the new skate park will be built in North Canton. I have faith the men, women, and children of the city will embrace the new skate park, encourage a new skate park, and one day enjoy a new skate park. It may not happen this year, but I will be prepared to do whatever needs to be done to make sure North Canton gets a new skate park, because I have faith that the next generation of skateboarders from North Canton will do what I was able to do at Dogwood and compete for the American Olympic skateboarding team and bring home the gold to North Canton. Thank you.
Thank you. Any comments or questions? Thank you. Okay, moving on to department reports. Mayor Water.
Yes, thank you very much. Pastor Code, thank you for giving us our opening. Thank you again to our citizens and our constituents for your thoughts and concerns on the topics that were discussed today. Catherine and myself had an opportunity to be with Troop 60519, Girl Scouts.
Daisy Scouts.
Daisy Scouts, yes, and Girl Scouts, yes. We did a cleanup at Price Park. It wasn't that dirty, but they did find items that we could clean up, and they had a great day. And it was a good turn project for them. And we always accommodate our Boys and Girl Scout troops for good turn projects like that. You may comment again about the 720 market, which occurred over the weekend. The weather cooperated, and I think it was, again, one of the biggest turnouts we've had in a long time. Some of you may be familiar with the name Eddie McClintock. Eddie was a graduate of North Canton Hoover High School, and I had the opportunity, along with our administrative assistants, Danielle Swinehart and Terry Gorski, we all attended the premiere of, it's called Takedown. And premiere was at the Palace. I believe there's about over 500 people there for the presentation. And it was a semi-autographical movie that he performed here in Stark County, primarily with many, many sites here in North Canton, let alone throughout other areas in the county, be it for Jackson or Louisville or primarily here. And our team, we assisted him in any ways that we can. And it was nice to see that we were noted in the credits, that we were supportive of his movie. And I think what he was bringing attention to was his thoughts on mental health and mental health issues and how that affects young people in a divided family or in a a total family. But he covered a number of topics there that I think were self-reflective as to how we maybe treated mental illness back in 1985 and throughout his time at Wright State University, where he wrestled at Hoover also. Again, he was a graduate of 1985, and he's also a North Canton Alumni Association Hall of Fame distinction, which he received several years after he graduated. And now he's in the movie industry, and if you want to Google him and you see the credits and movies and roles that he's played, he's been very active. But when we met with him about a year or so ago, he was adamant about doing something here in North Canton and honoring his city and his high school, but also understanding how people felt about mental illness, illegal use and drug use of drugs, and how that played into his life, but also whether young people today can gain something more positive from what he went through, and hopefully they don't have to go through a divided family and deal, and again, addressing mental health that affected his family. So just wanted to touch base with that on that. And again, on a couple good notes, September 28th is the New Berlin Festival. It's right around the corner, noon to 7. And then October the 5th will be our North Canton Chocolate Walk. That's an opportunity for people to buy tickets and visit all businesses that are participating and get to know what those businesses are. And I would like to close with just one final thought. It's a sad one. I was shocked, but a friend of mine, fellow mayor Tim Talbot, Village of Minerva, he came into office in 2019, the same year I was elected. And I had the opportunity to serve with him on the Mayor's Association of Portage, Stark, and Summit counties. And we dined together at Rotary events with he and his wife, Nancy. Unfortunately, he died suddenly yesterday morning. And he was a man who loved his village, and when you serve as mayor, you take everything that people give at you, good, positive, and indifferent, and he handled all that well. So to my good friend Tim Talbot and his family, my sincere condolences and thoughtfulness. And Stark County and the Village of Minerva have lost a great servant in public service.
Thank you, Mayor. Let's go Director of Administration. Catherine, how you doing?
Thank you, President Stroya. First of all, Pastor, I want to say that was a beautiful prayer tonight. It was just beautiful, and you said something in there that is so true. We are all just stewards of this city. There were people here before us, there'll be people here after us. And we are all just really trying to make the best decision for everybody. The school wants to make the best decision for the students. We want to make the best decision for everyone, including families and students. And it's tough sometimes, right? But I do appreciate the school being here and working together. Tonight, you see Ben's not here, our Deputy Director of Administration, because he is at the International City Managers Association Conference, learning all sorts of great things to bring back to this city. And, development is great, and what can we be doing? And it's a good thing, so that's where he is tonight. And then on the employment note also, I'd like to welcome our new Economic Development Specialist for the City of North Canton. So excited to be here. So excited, he's here before he even starts. He doesn't start until next Monday, September 30th, but we didn't have a meeting, so I asked him if he'd come tonight, he did. So very excited to have Jason come on board, and we won't hit you too hard with everything we're away. We'll let you acclimate, get warmed up before we make you run a marathon, right? So again, just trying to work together in collaboration. I really did appreciate the school being here to discuss this with us, and it's tough. But what we'll do is, based on everything we heard there, I think I'll take back and try to firm up an agreement. That's what we need. We need this agreement, just like all the details we talked about. It's going to be a lot, and how many months, and who's going to handle what. And so we'll get that agreement to bring back to you. And then along the lines also of agreements, today we had our first meeting with our new law firm, Ricker Graydon. We had a virtual call with our law director, And, with the new ordinance, 80/24, that is also a contract that will be over $50,000. So once we're going to look at and analyze our current legal usage to kind of see. They would like to know our kind of pattern behavior, how many hours, what are the things. And then we have to put together a transition plan with our current law firm, just sort of having them list out all the current items that they're working on by priority, and then get that exit letter over to them, and be able to have hopefully a nice seamless transition from the old to the new. So then, that'll have to go to Board of Control to award the contract that we have selected them. And then also, Mayor had mentioned this weekend is the New Berlin Festival, and at the New Berlin Festival, this will be the final tour of the fire station building, the open house. So we've had multiple open houses, the town hall meetings, I forgot what they were called. The town hall meetings, all the night that Ben has done with all the presentations, all the information. It's out there on the website. You can see it and watch it. And then we're going to hopefully encourage a lot of people to come in and ask any questions about the proposed fire station bond issue that will be coming up in November. And hope to see everybody out there. That's all.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Director of Finance, Gina.
We are finishing up the budget ordinances for next year's budget. We've been working on that. We began the process in August, as you know, with the tax budget. So this week we're preparing the ordinances for committee on October 7th. They'll see the first committee reading, and then they'll go through the 3 readings. Last minute changes, get them to me for next week.
All right, thank you. Council Clerk, Lillian.
No report tonight.
All right. That's easy. Let's go to council reports, and let's start with Melissa. Come backwards.
Sure. I just want to say thank you to Walsh University for hosting us last time. It was fun to have our meeting over there. We talked about maybe doing that again and trying to get some more students to come out and attend us, but it was just fun to have it at Walsh University and recognize that partnership and have Dr. Collins join us for the meeting. That's it.
Thank you. That was fun. David.
I have no report this evening, Mr. Stewart.
All right. Jamie.
I just want to thank every person in the audience who came here and spoke this evening, even those who didn't speak. Thank you for coming tonight. Dan Pasticote, great prayer. I think other people have touched on that, but thank you. And please send our thanks to the North Canton Ministerial Association for sending you as a representative. So want to also thank the administration for the fire department open house that'll be this weekend. I think that's a fantastic opportunity. If you folks have not had the opportunity to go and take a look at the fire department, it may look like a great building on the outside, and frankly it is. It's a nice building, but when you get inside and just see the tight quarters, that was one of the biggest eye-openers for me, was just seeing how tight it is. And then imagine yourself wearing all the gear a firefighter might be wearing while running to a fire truck. And that's kind of been the topic of the conversation with a couple of residents, and I think it's kind of opened their eyes, and hopefully not only you guys, but everybody else will take an opportunity, if you have not done so already, to go through the fire department. So. But again, great 720 market this weekend, and certainly looking forward to Berlin Fest on Saturday. So that's it.
All right, thank you. Christina.
No report.
All right, Stephanie.
Thank you to our finance department and our finance director. I know how much work is going into the budget, and you met with all of us last week on separate instances and the graphics and everything that was laid out, and really that those initial stages of budget planning and how different they're being done. I mean, we had talked about how a long time ago, there wasn't even a process of involving the different departments and them understanding the why behind it and kind of putting revenue sources aligning with budget items. I was actually talking to one of the policemen, and he said we had this like epiphany that like, oh, this is why the revenue sources, now I get it. This is how it makes sense to me. And that was nice to hear, that went further and that people had an aha moment. I don't think you always get that in finance. So thank you. for doing
I have to give
that.
that credit to Ben, and I believe he's going to incorporate that into the presentation and with the budget.
Oh, good.
on October 7th.
Okay, yeah, so that was nice to hear. And then, I love that the school came. I wish we had more conversations like that with the school, because I think Melissa and I sat in a meeting with budget, and just even us brainstorming, you kind of come up with some different ideas, and obviously they had another brainstorm from last week to this week that makes maybe more sense, aligns more with our priorities and their priorities, and taxpayer dollars. So I like seeing those kind of actions.
Thank you. Okay, my turn. Everybody steals everything I want to say all the time. No, thank you. Thank you, Pastor Cope. I will. Maybe I will.
I do want you to go first one. I want to see what you have to say.
Well, probably talk too long. But no, thank you. Good point on the school coming and collaborating. That was a good, last minute.
Revamp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very efficient. It makes sense. It holds a lot of cars. It's nothing new. So, well done there. And I wanted to point out the bond in the bond levy coming up, the open house at the fire station on the 28th, along with the Berlin Festival as well. And Gina, again, thank you for the budget and everybody that was involved, the department heads and everything. I think I said this last year, but when I first started going to council meetings, I think it was a 5-hour meeting in public, and I brought a cooler for like different soft drinks and stuff like that, and stayed for 5 hours. And yeah, that was not fun.
No.
That was not fun, and it wasn't nearly as involved as what you guys put together either. So always
Looking at the needs and
Yeah.
not needs and assets and challenges of each department, I mean, there just wasn't kind of that understanding.
Well, it's almost like a grassroots approach to something instead of working backwards,
Yeah.
which
The
didn't make
department heads
sense.
don't just build their budget, they manage it all
Yeah.
year long now.
Yep.
And so they're very frugal and responsible
Right.
with the dollars that they are managing. So and then preparing the following year's budget, they're just getting better and better every year as well, as far as handling the money part.
Absolutely. Yep. So that's all I've got. Final call for new business. Okay, so September 30th, there is no meeting. However, there may be a special meeting. We'll work out that. Then October 7th is a committee of the whole, and October 14th is a regular city council meeting. Anybody else?
Hard to believe we're talking about October.
It is crazy,
That
yeah.
is because of the October 1st is what we're trying to do with the law firm.
Yeah, yeah.
Gotcha.
What do we need?
Maybe a special meeting for the law firm.
And I'll
With the
coordinate
new
with you guys and get
Yeah.
details
With
out.
the new procurement rules that will be effective with the third reading, the contracts will come back to council as well as Board of Control. So this is probably a good one to start with.
Yeah,
Perfect.
yep, agree. Okay, I will make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?